Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla News, episode 182. And yes, I am finally back from my holiday with my family up through Norway. It has been an absolutely awesome trip, but always nice to get back home, especially for work. So there has been a lot of news this week, so let's dive in because Tesla's growth in Europe seems unstoppable. But Volkswagen is having a bit of trouble and are being left behind by Tesla. And GM starts deliveries of their Blazer EV, the true competitor to the Tesla Model Y. And Mercedes is also coming out with their AMG version of their EQE SUV, but it kind of just shows us just how good a deal a Tesla is. And Tesla's Project Highland is just around the corner. And Pepsi shares a lot of great stuff about Tesla's semi-truck. And Elon says Tesla is putting in the last piece of the puzzle for full self-driving. All of this and much, much more in today's episode. Let's dive right in.
Let's put our living stereo stylus in this groove.
So we hear a lot at times from the Tesla Qs and the Tesla haters that Tesla is a busted growth story. And Tesla was doomed in Europe because of all the competition that is here. But funny enough, Tesla is growing stupidly fast in Europe, and the old guys are feeling the competition. Firstly, Roland, as always, is making all of these great charts for all of the European countries, and the story is pretty much the same no matter where we look. So let's just look at the overall accumulated sales in Europe for Tesla. And as you can see, after only 3 months of sales, Tesla has already beaten last year's record for the first half of 2022. Of course, we have to remember that the lockdown in Shanghai last year in April, but the growth this year is just phenomenal. They have already sold more year to date than they did in all of 2021 and have already sold about 85% of the entire sales last year. And as Berlin and Texas are keeping a steady production and slowly growing, they will no doubt have a much bigger second half of 2023 compared to last year as well. So we are looking at some huge records for Tesla this year in Europe. And Volkswagen has just sent out their earnings and sales numbers, and even though they like to say they are leading the EV race in Europe, it is only as a group, not as a brand. Tesla is way out in front when it comes to being the biggest EV brand in Europe. Tesla is sitting on 19.1% of the EV market, and the Volkswagen brand is sitting on 12.2%. So Tesla is growing in Europe and stealing market share as they went from 13.8% in 2021 to 15% in 2022, and now they have 19.1% market share when we look at brands. And in the overall car market, Tesla is of course also gaining. Volkswagen, on the other hand, does not grow as fast as Tesla, even though they have said they would catch up to Tesla. But the trend we have been seeing for the last 2 years continues, as in the first half of 2023, Tesla sold 889,000 units and Volkswagen 322,000 units. So just in the first half of the year, Volkswagen is 567,000 units behind Tesla. Last year, in the first half of 2022, Volkswagen was only about 347,000 units behind Tesla. So Tesla increased their lead in the first half of the year over Volkswagen with about 64%, or added about 220,000 units more to their lead. So I think it's very safe to say that 2023 will be the third year in a row that Tesla pulls away from Volkswagen and not the other way around. So I still don't understand why analysts can look at these numbers and think Volkswagen, GM and Ford will catch up to Tesla. Tesla is growing and growing fast, and there are so much more growth in front of them with the Berlin, the Texas, Mexico and others coming as well. No one else has all of this production volume planned. So how could they ever catch up when they are not even planning for it? But I did make a whole video about this, so if you want to dive deeper into the numbers of Volkswagen and how far behind they are from Tesla and how impossible it looks to catch up, check out that video, link down below. GM is starting deliveries of their Blazer EV, the true competitors to Tesla's Model Y and Ford's Mach-E. Funny how Mary Barra last week talked about how GM would use their winning with simplicity to make the new Bolt. But then they come out with their Blazer EV, and you can get it in 1,000 different trims and with either front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive. Nothing is simple about the production of this EV. It's like they have learned nothing from Tesla's approach to keeping it simple. So no wonder Mary Barra has said that GM will not have a profitable EV in the $30,000 to $40,000 range before next decade. But anyway, they are coming out with the Blazer EV, and this one is the one to keep an eye on, as this is going to be one of the most important EVs for GM, together with their Silverado pickup truck, as pickup truck is very popular in the US, and the Blazer is the more mass market EVs going head to head with Tesla's Model Y. But the problem GM will probably face, like most other manufacturers, is that the Blazer is more expensive than the Model Y. The most expensive Model Y is still about $2,000 cheaper than the cheapest Blazer option. So again, like we talked about last week with the Polestar 3, very nice EV, but it's just a great example of Tesla's pricing power, as the GM comparable Blazer is about $10,000 more expensive than the Tesla Model Y. But the Model Y is a superior EV compared to the Blazer. I don't think it will have as much trunk space as the Model Y. We don't have all the specs yet, but what it looks like, it will not have the same kind of trunk. And they have not showed off a frunk, so don't think that we'll have that one either. So many people that actually do a little digging will probably buy the Model Y over the Blazer, as it is just a much better value for money. Also, Tesla has their great software that gets better over time, and GM is still struggling with their software in the Cadillac Lyriq and the Hummer EV, so no doubt that the Tesla will also hold its value much better than the Blazer, with GM's already outdated Ultium platform. But again, GM is already losing money on selling the Blazer $10,000 more expensive than Tesla Model Y. So they probably don't have much of a choice, as Tesla is the one that is dictating the price levels, and GM can't really afford to lose too much money on this EV, as this should be the EV that actually gets to some high volumes in sales, hopefully, as it is not easy being up against Tesla's Model Y, the world's best-selling car that is also profitable. And even though GM probably wants to price it higher, they really can't, as Tesla's Model Y is at these levels. And I personally don't really see Chevrolet as a premium brand. It might be seen like that in the US, I don't know, but here over in Europe, well, I see Chevy as a cheap brand. We did get Chevy over here in Denmark some years ago, and it quickly got some momentum and was the fastest growing brand in Denmark, as it was very affordable. But then all the problems started to show up with the poor build quality, and Chevy is no more in Europe. They disappeared as quickly as they came. So for what I see as a very inferior product for a medium brand that cost more, will probably not do very well against the Tesla Model Y, but let's see how this will play out. But if you like buttons and vents, well, you're going to love the Blazer's new interior. A lot of buttons and big ventilations. Very far from Tesla's simple and clean interior. And Mercedes just gave the prices of their EQE SUV that is supposed to be Mercedes Model Y, so their volume seller. But again, with Tesla specs and price, I think many will look at the Mercedes and think this might be a bit too pricey, as we have seen that brand loyalty is not very high when it comes to electric cars. Except with Tesla, of course, that has the most returning customers. But when people switch to electric vehicles, the luxury in the car is as much to do with technology and software than hand-stitched leather. So the EQE SUV is a nice electric big SUV, and they are also trying to make a big push for the performance versions with their AMG version that does have about 100 more horsepower than the Tesla Model Y, but still can only just keep up with the Tesla Model Y. The fastest EQE does a 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 3.7 seconds, the same as the Model Y. The top speed is 240 kilometers an hour, just 10 kilometers slower than the Tesla Model Y. So the performance is very similar, but Mercedes need about 100 extra horsepower to get those specs, and Mercedes also need more batteries to compete with Tesla's range, as we have seen with pretty much everyone else. It does have a 90.5 kilowatt hour battery, so about 10 kilowatt hours more than the Model Y, but has less range. They do the weird thing of saying VLTP range between 408 to 455, but they make it even more confusing by having two versions of the VLTP range. But anyway, it will have less than 500 kilometers of range. So on specs, it does get very close to the Model Y, but it needs more horsepower and batteries to do so. So that is also why it gets 100 kilometers less in range in 15 minutes of charging compared to the Model Y. And the Mercedes does weigh about 700 kilos more than the Tesla Model Y. So a really heavy car, so will probably not handle as well as the Model Y does. And it also only has about 520 liters of trunk space compared to Tesla's 700 liters. And Mercedes does of course not have a frunk as all the Germans. So the Model Y will also have a 125 liters more cargo space in the frunk as well. So in all, you will get like 305 liters more cargo space with the Model Y, so quite a lot. And if you want to tow stuff, the Model Y can tow 1,600 kilos and the EQE can only tow 750 kilos. So there is really no specs where the Mercedes comes out on top. So it is all down to the luxurious interior of Mercedes that should make you choose the EQE over the Model Y. But what would you say that is valued? As the starting price of the EQE SUV is $109,000. So instead of getting the Mercedes EQE SUV AMG, you can get two Tesla Model Y Performance. So yeah, you might get 3 screens in the fully trimmed model that starts at $112,000, but in my opinion, what matters more is what is on those screens, and here Tesla software and navigation system is just in a league of its own. There are just tons of features the Model Y has that the EQE will never have, like Sentry mode, dog mode, camp mode, and so much more. And the old EQE, not the SUV but the EQE, only scores 81% in Europe's NCAP safety assist features, whereas Tesla's Model Y gets 98%. So you will also get a much safer car with the Tesla as well. So yet another good showcase of Tesla's pricing power and technology lead, even with the sticker price that are more than twice of that of the Tesla Model Y. It can't beat the Model Y on a single spec, and only comes close because they put in more horsepower and batteries. So going to be very exciting to see how well this electric car does for Mercedes, as they have also been out saying that they are pushing back on their EV targets as they don't see the exponential growth of the EV just yet. But EVs are growing exponential, so maybe the reason Mercedes is not seeing this huge demand for their EVs is because of what I just showed you. Who is willing to pay twice as much to get less of everything but more luxurious interior? Sure, there is going to be some people that want to say, I'm driving a Mercedes, but I don't think that brand loyalty can handle Tesla Model Y specs and pricing. I think it will have a hard time selling in high volume, but let's see how it goes. And let's squeeze in the last short news topics into this news show. Yes, it's time for the Tesla Shorts. It seems like NIO is getting some momentum in China, as NIO delivered a record of 20,462 vehicles in July, up 103% year over year. A big jump for NIO. Not a steady ramp, but a really big jump in July. The reason seems to be the success of the ES6 that they just started deliveries of in May. It has already delivered over 10,000 units in July. Very Very nice. And I did talk about Tesla buying a wireless charging company like a month ago, but apparently Tesla completed that takeover of the German charging company. That is very exciting, and I hope that means that in a not so distant future we will be able to get a couple of wireless charging pads in our garage to charge our Teslas. That would be awesome. And according to a survey, Tesla Model 3 demonstrates high reliability in long-term ownerships. The car's rating were particularly impressive for performance, ease of use and design. Long-time Tesla Model 3 owners, after all the years of ownership, still gives nearly a perfect marks for driving pleasure. And I can vote for that. I have been driving my Tesla Model 3 for over 100,000 miles, 160,000 kilometers in the 4 years I have owned my Tesla Model 3 long range, and it still drives like it is new. I still love that car, especially because all the software in that old car is still up to date. Not something you can say of any other car on the market. And there was an interview with BMW's head of R&D, Weber, where he was asked, "They say that the electric motor is easier to build than an internal combustion engine." But Weber said, "Quite the opposite. We have to do everything at the same time, develop the internal combustion engine, advance the electric car and test the hydrogen drive. There is a lot of work to be done here." No, you have to start focusing on BEVs and drop that stupid hydrogen car, and don't invest any more money in your ICE vehicles. They are dying. It is not that complicated, Weber. You are making it complicated. And Tesla continues to lead with installing more chargers than all other networks combined. And it seems like Tesla is getting really close on full self-driving, as they apparently has crossed another big milestone, as Elon wrote on X.com. Vehicle control is the final piece of the Tesla full self-driving AI puzzle. That will drop more than 300,000 lines of C++ control code by 2 orders of magnitude. It is training as I write this. Our progress is currently training compute constrained, not engineering constrained. So if I understand this correctly, this should be the last of the hard code C++ in the system, and should now be all AI driven. This is huge news, and really the last piece of the puzzle. Now it's all down to training to get to true autonomy. And Tesla has just turned on Dojo, so yeah, really exciting times. And it seems as we are getting very close to start the new refreshed Tesla Model 3, the Project Highland, as Wu-Wa wrote on Twitter. According to online rumors, communication from suspected Tesla staff indicated that the current domestically produced Tesla Model 3 will be discontinued on August 14th. It is reported that the new Tesla Model 3 will be officially put into production in the third quarter. So maybe we could see the first refreshed Model 3 coming off the production line in China in only a few weeks from now. Can't wait for that. But we also have some other small indicators here in Europe that there might be some Project Highland coming soon, as customers in Europe who are getting ready to place an order on a Tesla Model 3 are in for a longer than expected wait time, as estimated delivery dates for the electric sedan has been pushed back to the end of the year on the beginning of next year. The bump could be a good hint that Tesla is expected to launch their Project Highland refreshed during that time frame. So something is cooking behind the scenes as Tesla. And Tesla did of course say that we should expect a lower production ramp in Q3, as they have to upgrade some production line, and I do expect that is for the Highland project, but they did not say much about their deliveries. And if these numbers are correct, and Tesla does have about 100,000 vehicles in inventory or in transit, which is worth about 16 days of inventory, well, they could shut down production for a couple of weeks and not really lose much in deliveries. But then, of course, be a bit behind next quarter with a bit more vehicles in transit. But going to be very exciting to see how much this upgrade would actually affect Tesla's deliveries. And Tesla showed off a little video of how much faster the installation of the Powerwall has become thanks to the backup switch that they have made. Tesla is constantly improving and making everything better every single day. And here's just one great example. Installing the Powerwall is now 12 times faster than the old way. Very nice. And Robert from the Fully Charged live show shared on Twitter a truly perfect example of the utter insanity of anti-electric car propaganda in the UK. And the headline said, "British summer washout see electric cars submerged in streets after heavy rain." Yes, this has nothing to do with them being electric cars. Any car that was submerged would have seen this. The headline should just have said, "British summer washout see cars submerged in streets after heavy rain." But no, let's try to make an EV look bad. And even though they go through high water much better than ice cars, as we have seen so many examples of over the year, as it does not need oxygen to keep going, they just wanted a clickbait headline and make some anti-electric vehicle propaganda. The Mirror should be ashamed of themselves. And Tesla continues to talk with India's official and has also snapped up almost a 6,000 square feet office in India now. So something is happening in India, but we are still waiting on some official announcements from Tesla. And don't forget, if you're looking for some all-weather mats for your electric vehicle, not just the Tesla, use my affiliate link down below to get 5% discount and get, to be fair, all-weather mats from Shop for Tesla, as they are made from 30% recycled materials. I actually got them in my old Tesla Model 3 and they just look awesome. Link down below. And apparently, Ford's 6 weeks of retooling the Rhodes plant has led to a much improved production capacity, and expect an annual run rate of 150,000 this fall, and that is just for the F-150. So Ford should be able to produce 150,000 F-150s Lightnings next year. That would actually be very nice if they are able to pull this one off, but let's see how it goes. And I of course have to show this little video from Hallmark's catalog, where his Tesla on Tesla's full self-driving beta goes around a stock cruise car. Yeah, very telling. And everyone's Corey from Monroe and Associates has decided to leave Monroe and try something new. Well, I wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors, and thanks for having started Monroe Live YouTube channel. It has been a gift to the electric vehicle community. Thank you and good luck. And dozens of Tesla vehicles took part of a huge Cybertruck-inspired light show that kicked off this year's Tesla Takeover event in California this past week. Video of the rather impressive light show was captured by the sky by drones, with all the cars' lighting being synchronized to Europe's famous The Final Countdown song. And note to the pickup's imminent start of production. Looked very cool, and yes, this is truly the final countdown for the beast of all beasts to enter real production. This will be huge.
It's the final countdown.
And one person's highlights of the takeover event was meeting the amazing Maya Musk. Nice. But more videos coming from Monroe Live from the event. And don't forget, check out Brian from My Tesla Weekend as well. He was also there, of course, and made a bunch of videos. So go check them all out as well. And back in October, I reported on GM's flagship EV that might have a starting price over $300,000. And now we get the official price, $340,000. Now that is just nuts, but it is hand built, but still crazy expensive for a GM product. And don't get why GM is wasting time and money on this project. Get some production going first. And Joe Tachmeyer got some very nice videos of the new Cybertruck at the Texas factory charging at the supercharger. Can't wait until this becomes a normal sight at the superchargers around the US. And we have heard many analysts and haters say that Tesla semi-truck was not a real truck. Not even when Pepsi got it from Tesla, it was still a bad truck and would never work. But Pepsi just released a video showing just how well it works. Fully loaded, they can still drive their max journeys, which is 450 miles fully loaded. And we have also heard drivers don't want to drive these stupid electric trucks. Well, let's hear it from the drivers themselves and not from all these clueless haters out there.
So if you thought these Tesla semis were a bit like Bigfoots, maybe you heard about them, maybe you saw a picture, a fuzzy one, but you weren't sure they were real or not, we're here to show you that they are real. They're hauling real beverages for Pepsi here in Northern California. Zero emission, delivering goods every day.
We're first in the world to have Teslas, and to be part of that is exciting. I start at 2 in the afternoon, so I'm a swing shift driver. I've been driving it for about 3 or 4 months now. And yeah, we get questions every time we go to a different facility. People see us long haul drivers, they ask questions, and I tell them it's just, you know, it's so comfortable, it's so easy to drive. You're so close to the front of the tractor, your visibility is amazing.
I come from a family of truck drivers. My grandfather, my uncles, my dad, they're all been truck drivers. I grew up on a truck. I love being on the road. It's my favorite thing. I love it. I do about 400 plus miles a day. Being in a good truck, comfortable, drive great, it makes a world of difference on my day. You know, I don't hurt as much. As soon as I got this, I was like, it just feels good.
I actually volunteered because I was really excited to drive the electric truck. I'm not a techie person, so I was afraid of the iPhone when it first came out. There's no switches and gauges in the cab of the truck, so I had to strictly go off the monitors, and within a half hour I was comfortable. If you know how to use a smartphone, then you could easily operate one of these trucks. The turn radius is awesome. It's better than in my car. It's a lot more comfortable. They're quieter, they're smoother, they look nicer. They don't look as intimidating. I think when they see other women doing it, then that will give them maybe some motivation to want to get into it. I think with this, they would be a little bit more comfortable considering driving a big rig.
With the massive charger that we have, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and it's back up to 95% from like 5 or 10. So the turnaround is quick.
Regen is a huge benefit for us, I think, overall, when it comes to the transformation to electric. We've seen very strong efficiencies and performance based off the regen of the Tesla semis. For example, going across Donner's Pass and back from here to Nevada, we're able to, on the trip back, actually zero out in terms of state of charge improving due to regenerative braking, which for us is massive. That extends range for us in a way that is invaluable. In terms of the regen, the efficiency of the tractor and the routes that we're taking, as well as the drivers that have been enabled, for the past several months, we've been able to stay below 1.7 kilowatt hours per mile in terms of efficiency of this fleet.
And before we end off with a bit of fun, I just want to make a quick shout out to my newest patrons and members of this news show. My new Patreon producers, Christian Hoff, Doug Henning, George Goodwin. And my new YouTube members, Corey Goddington, Andreas Ruff, Rahul Pensuria, Jim Cruz, and Harold Levels 2. Thank you so much for all your support. I am doing this all by myself, but you guys are all the producers of this news show. Thank you. And a big and special thanks to Supporter of the Week, and this week's winner is Leonard Kretz. Leonard has been a Best in Tesla superhero for 21 months. Thank you so much for all your support. Much appreciated. Please contact me on this email down below so I can get your address so I can send you your Supporter of the Week winner t-shirt. Thank you. And let's end off with a bit of fun. If you think you are having a bad day at work, it's nothing compared to this guy. So lighten up. That is all we have time for in this news show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. It really does help this video out a lot so others can find it here on YouTube. And if you did like it, maybe you want to consider hitting that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos just like this one. And don't forget, if you want to become an executive producer and get news articles Monday to Friday and exclusive videos and access to my research and charts and spreadsheets and so on, and become a part of my little exclusive club of executive producers, head over to bestintesla.com and join with the members button.
If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for your support, and if you want to support the channel even more, remember you can, for as little as $1, become a patron of this channel and get your shout out on this show. You can also become a member of the YouTube channel to get a shout out and some extra perks. Hit the members button to find out more. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter. I tweet all the news as it comes out and more. And check out the merch store to get some merchandise and support the show. Now it's also possible to support the show without buying anything, becoming a member or a patron. There is a link to a donation options in the show notes. And also as simple as hitting the super like button. But going forward, I will be making more videos for patrons and members only. And I will give my YouTube members and patrons early access to my videos whenever possible and make my videos ads free for members and patrons only. So don't miss out.
And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.